All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Goose, and Christine. The Beauty Shop Part 2. In this episode, we have special guest Christine Bennett Desumma, owner of The Beauty Shop. We cover topics that range from entrepreneurship, the beauty business, effects of the coronavirus, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from an unknown source and Tabatha Coffey. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, we want to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the last couple of weeks for bearing with us. Obviously, we're using Zoom, so the sound quality isn't our typical, professional sound. So if you hear any background noise, puppies barking in the background or kids, whatever, please excuse us as everyone's working remotely at this time. Christine's in her shop, Gabe and Goose are at their residence, and I'm at my home office. So with that being said, kicking things off, Christine, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So,
how's everybody doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We had you featured on episode 132, and since that episode, a lot has happened, but one of the biggest things that happened has been the current pandemic with the coronavirus. But before we jump into all of that, if there's someone currently listening that did not get a chance to listen to episode 132, explain who you are and what you do.
My name is Christine Desumma. I am owner of the Beauty Shop in Bristol Borough, Pennsylvania. I've been doing hair for probably 28 years now. And I followed my dreams since I was a little girl, and it took me a very long time. I put every penny into this beautiful, beautiful space here, and it'll be almost 3 years in September. I love it. I just set forth my goal and conquered it because that's what I do. So, I come to my business because it's so beautiful, and I live here in this great town. And today I came here to clean.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll wind it a little bit back. How did you actually get started in the industry, and then moving on to starting your own business?
So I was 15 when I first got a job at Faces Hair Design. I was sweeping up hair, and then I decided, I went to school when I graduated. I was 17 when I graduated, so I went right to beauty school, and then got finished, and I already had a chair. So I had started doing hair at 18, which is not normal. I would never hire an 18-year-old to do hair with a license. I just wouldn't. So I was very lucky, and times were completely different back then. So that was 1992. And I worked at Faces from 15 to 26, and then moved up to Yardley from 26 to 30, and then moved to Watkins Crossing. So when I hit Yardley, though, that's when everything took off. Because I was in a little Levittown salon doing little old ladies, and I knew I was better and bigger than that, and there was more out there for me. So when I moved up to Yardley, I had a really good mentor, and she really taught me how to hustle and how to work. She was tough, though. She really was, but she was awesome. And then after that, we ended up leaving there because it was 8 years there, and just a lot was going down, and my other girlfriend was building a salon in Washington's Crossing. And once again, I'm like, all right, I'm taking a chance on moving, but I'm only going to be 5-6 minutes down the road. So hopefully my clientele follows me. And some of them did, some of them didn't. So I took a big chance there because usually when you have a huge book and I was making great money, you don't leave a job. That's why it's so hard to find help now in this industry too. But I don't know. I took that chance, and I guess I've been taking chances, and they just really work out. Because then I took the chance in the beauty shop, and woohoo, I did it.
That's awesome.
And coronavirus won't hold me down.
That's right. So, just to rewind back, you said something interesting. You said your career then took off when you moved to the salon in you said New Hope?
In Yardley.
In Yardley. So, What do you think it was? Do you think it was a combination of the location, the environment, the mentorship?
Well, it was a little bit of everything. I blossomed so much more, and I learned from Natalie, that next step. Because when you get out of school, you learn basics. And if you're not in a high-end salon, you need to learn from that owner because they have been there for so long and hands-on. You only learn so much basic stuff in school, and the women who are the teachers in school, they're not even working in salons. So they teach you the basic from like 1956. So it's still the same rules. It's still all of the same rules. So really, once you get out and you become an assistant, that's how you grow. But I went right in. She took a chance with me, and I was already a stylist. But my book didn't follow me because I went from Little Levittown to Yardley.
So explain to folks listening the setup in your shop now. How many chairs you have? How many?
I have 6 chairs. Miguel, how big is this space? How big is yours? You're just a little bit smaller. Is this like 2,000 square foot?
I think yours is probably like 1,500. Mine's like 1,000. So yours is probably like 15.
So it's 1,015,
probably just
maybe 18, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And the ceilings are all vaulted. There's a lot of space. It's I kept it very old vintage look because our town is so old. It's just beautiful. It's very calming colors. Gray, purple. Jimmy, your favorite.
Right.
I got my logo back there that you guys see. That's all hand painted from my tattoo artist that we all know and love. We all go to Tommy. But it's a beautiful space. And that's why even through what we're going through now, I come here with my son and I have dinner here just to get out of my own house. I've been following all the rules as much as I can, but I really can't be held down. It's not who I am. So at least I have this space to come to with my son, and we support all the local restaurants, and we have dinner here just for something different. But the space is amazing. And I have a spa room for lashes and facials. So it's beautiful, and being away from it too sometimes, like that first couple weeks I wasn't down here. It's a great space.
So explain a little bit about what happened when we were forced to shut down, kind of like what was the transition like? You just kind of like, it took everyone, it was like everyone got bamboozled.
So when we first heard, like, we knew this was going on a little bit, and then it was like, all right, you got until Saturday at this time. And it was getting closer to us. And it was like, all right, we had till Monday night at 9:00 or something. And then we were shut down. So I called the girls. I'm like, listen, let's get our clients in. So we came in on Monday. We, threw colors on. We were working just to get that last deal done because we didn't really know what was going to happen, and thought, all right, we're going to be closed for a couple of weeks. We'll get back to work. So we shut it down, and then all of this happened. I never watched the news ever because I just don't watch it. It's too sad. I try and live a positive life. And I started watching the news, and I've been learning a whole lot. And the good thing about it is when this first happened, I was like, you know what? We need to have unity. Maybe this is God's way of saying, slow down, families, get back, spend time with your kids, husbands, be with your wives. I believe that. And I still believe that. It took a lot of people who maybe didn't have that time, kids at college, this and that. The virus is really real. We know that. But now, what are we in, 10 weeks? 10 weeks, and I'm watching all these businesses open. Miguel, you're right with me, barber. I'm watching. You can go get an ice cream cone. Go get an ice cream cone. But you can't come in my beautiful space to feel good about yourself. So many people are suffering with depression, drugs, alcohol. Go get a curbside cocktail. Isn't that awesome? You can get a curbside cocktail places. But there's so many different businesses. My favorite gym is closed. This man has helped save lives, taking weight off of people, taking people who have had high blood pressure and were overweight. I'm talking hundreds of pounds. He's helping people. And it just seems to me that the health of people and the way that they want to take care of themselves and feel good, like those are the places that aren't opening. You can go through a drive-thru at McDonald's, but yet I think there was a priest that was getting arrested for giving communion out by drive-thru. That's crazy. It's just crazy. It's control.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because our last episode, we talked about mental health and obviously May is Mental Health Awareness Month. But it's, it's all these things like the hair salons, the barbershops. These are the things that are not, overly priced by any means, that it's a simple way someone could feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
Even as simple as you just said, lashes. Sometimes some dudes are bald and they go to my brother's just for a shaving or something like that. It's just, it means the world. And you can see them. There's videos all over the place where, like a girl gets her hair done and it completely can transform someone's look. And when they're looking at themselves in the mirror and feeling more confident than they ever did over something as important as a haircut. I mean,
stress will kill you, Jim. People who are living with this anxiety and this stress, it is not good on your body. It's proven facts right there. It's not good for your brain function. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your heart. And it's not good for your gut. And when all of that, it will hurt you. And this is what's happening. So many people are just living in fear of this, and their anxiety level is up to here. We are transforming. We've always transformed people, but now we're so much bigger. The barber, all of us hairstylists. But for years, we were, she's just a hairdresser. She's just a hairdresser. That's all we were. We were just barbers, not knowing what we do to people's mental and what we can do just by them coming in from a hug. And that's all taken away from us right now. And I don't like it.
I mean, just going to when women get their hair done or men get their hair done, whoever it is, just the conversations that you're having with the stylist or the barber is therapy in itself. Sometimes you guys are the only people that these folks ever get to talk to. You know what I mean? And when you talk about that, me and Goose talk about it all the time. He's like, man, I know more about, some of these guys than probably their own therapist.
It's so true, because they'll say that too. They're like, oh my God, they'll be holding on to something. And then, I'm not repeating it. They're saying it right there. And it's such a relationship that we have one-on-one and close. I hug everybody. You guys are hugging, handshaking. That's just what we do. That touch is so comforting to people. So what? One day somebody's going to say, okay, we're allowed to hug. We're allowed to hug.
Right. I know.
Listen, I put my arms out for people, and some of them are like, oh my God, thank you. Because people are now afraid. Yeah. So that unity that I thought it was going to bring, it did. It brought probably a lot to like individual families and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean,
I found it also interesting within days, they already had a term that they deemed social distancing. And they keep saying it's like an overly used word at this point to the fact that it starts to make you think, is there something more behind it?
Oh yeah.
And them trying to pull us from the connection, from the interwebs of relationships that we have. And when someone keeps saying social distancing, it's almost like, oh my God, seclude myself. I have to keep away from you. And people think that that's a physical thing. But if you say social distancing enough, you're going to stop picking up your phone. You're going to stop visiting people. Everything's going to turn into, this is the new way we interact with each other. But it's amazing what the human touch can do. And what it does actually to relationships, to people, what it activates in our minds and our souls. There's just something there. I read an article talking about, when a business transaction takes place, you're not even going to shake someone's hand. You're going to bow or something. And it was just, is this is this like a forced new norm?
But like my trainer said, and he's my mentor, Marty, they think that he's going to do that, and he's not, and I can't either. I can only do what's best for me. But I want to hear what you guys got to say. I'm done because I'm going to get all fired up.
So I'm with you on the, like when you push, regardless of something too far, they're kind of kicking the can a little too far. And here's the thing: it's the same source that we're getting our information from is the same source that we have to basically digest half the information that they're telling us, because then all of a sudden they're in control, right? I mean, if you're not paying attention and you're not ever listening to the news, then you walk outside and you could potentially be arrested because you didn't even know you weren't social distancing the correct way.
But I do want to say, because my girlfriend Jackie did remind me, when I started the beauty shop here in Bristol, I jumped in behind the chair and had to hustle my ass off to pay my rent, to do all of this. Went through young girls in and out that just didn't work out. So I never got to learn the business end of this. With this quarantine, the first 2 weeks that we were down, that's all I've been doing. I was very manic. So I was up to like 3, 4 in the morning some nights, but I learned my money end of my business. So I'm coming back even stronger. So that's one thing I'm very, very proud of, because I didn't know numbers. I never once looked at my expenses and where the money's at. Never, ever. I got all my printouts. I'm so organized. So I fully learned what I needed to, not only behind the chair and making people feel and look good, but now my business end. So now there's no stopping me.
That's interesting too, because there was an awesome question that was posed. I forget what podcast I was listening to, but it was an uplifting, motivational one. And they say the difference is going to be, when we get out of all this, the people who decided to do something while we're, quote, locked down, and those, the legal way and whatever you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You sat there and you learned your books. I know my brother Miguel got certified in barbicide certification in COVID-19. It's all these things that's like, you're separating yourself, right? There's a certain amount of truth that we do have to live with, but outside of that, we can still hustle behind the scenes and grind it out until this all, clears up. Even though that's hard, even though that's not easy, even though that's, that stinks. I'm glad to see that, there's one thing that we could look back on. You can say, yeah, that was a time that was pretty painful, but I was able to reset on my finances, reset on my relationships, reset on a lot of stuff. We're also realizing what is and what is not very important to us, as we're all kind of turned into minimalists to some extent.
Yeah, that's so true. The last in the beauty shop one, I always talked about God, and you guys, we all love our Lord, and that's
Absolutely
how we're here. And the 4 of us sitting here all agree on that. We were raised that way. And one night, I'm sleeping, and I woke up at like 1:30 in the morning, and I woke up to this thought that said, survive, realize, and revitalize your soul. That's what came to me. And Jim, inspire, desire, set the world on fire. I already came up with that one, the last one.
That's right.
So when I woke up, I was like, I got to write this down again. And I'm like, oh, I'm too tired. I'm not writing it down. So when I got up the next morning, I'm like, what was that? Realize. And I couldn't say it right. And then I just grabbed my pen and I was like, survive, realize, revitalize your soul. I'm like, that is freaking awesome. That's what I'm going by. That's what I'm living by. I'm done with watching the news. 11 days I was in there watching that news and falling into a depression. And my brain is way more powerful than that. So I'm like, you know what, Christine, get up, shut the news off. God's going to guide you. So
Absolutely.
And that's that. So I do want to get t-shirts made that say that.
Absolutely. You got to get it done for sure. So have you been in contact with other, hairstylist business owners and, what everyone's experiencing?
No, I'm just following, what I'm seeing and all of that. My best girlfriend owns a hair salon in, Newtown, and my girlfriend's, my girlfriend's boss reached out to me. And the funny thing is that nobody had a plan. Like when I talk to people, I'm like, so, what's your policies? How are you bringing the girls back? And they were like, oh, I don't know. You can't go back to the way it was. We have to work at a 50%. Like we have our guidelines, but make your own. Like I sent out an honest policy that I wrote. This was before we had to wear masks and stuff too. But I've been talking to my clients, reaching out to them, calling some, and they're like, oh my God, I love hearing your voice. I'm like, I'm nuts. You know me. And they're like, we know, but it's so great to hear you. Like being in contact with some of my really good clients, in the beginning, I took all those pictures, came around to Bristol, was taking all of our business shots. Like I really got really, really creative. But I was talking to, I was shocked that people didn't have a plan like me. Like, I thought everybody was going to have policies and this and that. And when they're like, no. And I'm like, wait, I already had my girls come in. They cleaned out their stations. We cleaned off products. Like, they're my team. They need to come in and help me. You work here, you're getting your unemployment. We're going to come back. I got the loan. That's one good thing. I got that loan thing. But I needed my team here to clean out their stations, barbicide, help me with all this. Because I'm not going to come back, June 4th, if they say that, and then we're all back in work and we're all frantic and nothing's organized. You need a freaking plan. You need a plan. All businesses need a plan. I got plans for restaurants too. I don't know. I'm just so I love this. I have been so mad at this shit. And Jimmy, you know me, when I'm passionate, I just go and I'm like, woo, she's taking off. But you guys know that about me. Miguel, you've known me for a lot of years. My girlfriends know me, but she's even going like this. Like, she thinks I'm acting crazy. But I still realize that you guys know me, but it's all good. But no, so my whole creative side is so many different directions. And we are the last to be open. And come June 4th, Miguel, I don't even know if we're going to be able to be open. So guess what? You know, like that's how I feel. Like, it's been such an up and down roller coaster for me. And that's exactly, I'm on this roller. I'm ready to get off of it. I need to be off of it and be on like a fun roller coaster, because this roller coaster has been good and bad. So I have learned a lot about myself, about my business, about people. And I've learned a lot about what's going on in the world too, because I've been reading a lot. Some people are working from home and able to. We are shut the hell down 10 weeks. 10 weeks. So hopefully, you know, I don't know. The other good thing is living in a community, Miguel, and you know this, being here in town. It's crazy, guys. I think you agree. And now we're getting overtime. But I want to hear some of your thoughts. Miguel, what are you thinking? You're so always just one way. Chill. Like, are you fired up?
No, I am. I just I deal with it differently. But it's when this whole thing first happened, it was like, all right, cool. Like 2 weeks. That's what they told us at first. I'm like, all right, I can deal with 2 weeks another 2 weeks being shut down or whatever. I mean, and I actually really needed that 1 week of like off of not doing nothing, because like we're always on the go. Like that first week or so, like I was able to slam on the brakes, kind of figure stuff out. Like, all right, now come up with a game plan. There's 2 weeks. Where am I going to come up with money to pay for the bills these 2 weeks? And then that got old really fast after the first week. Like, I had to keep moving around and stuff. And then they obviously they pushed it off to another 4 weeks. And then it's frustrating that like then they're saying, oh yeah, we got these fundings to help you. And it's like, dude, by the time you get something, like it's already a month and a half, 2 months in, and you don't have a dime. And then they expect you to like, oh yeah, just stay on top of your bills, but don't work, don't leave your house, or don't do this. Like, it's just, I mean, for me, I definitely learned now. Like you say, you learned your business. I did too. Like, you're always learning. I also learned more like financially how to like save every freaking penny. Like, now I'm more aware in case this happens again, I'm going to have some money set to the side to cover bills.
Right.
And like, now I'm just trying to prepare myself for the next round. If it ever happens, it might not, hopefully not, but it sucks. But like, I just try to do it like within my own, like I'm not like, I wish I was like you, like more verbal and like, but I just kind of just
try. I wish I was like you, a little calmer. But at
the end of the day, we both have the same. We're at the same. I'm probably just as stressed as you are. You're probably just as stressed as I am. It's just we deal with it differently. But it's not like it really isn't fair, and it's not. I don't know. I just hope this ends very, 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 very soon. The only good thing is like once it's open and we do things like the right way, we'll be busy. We'll be booming. And people, and throughout this whole thing, a lot of our customers, I know mine, they appreciate me more. They realize how much they miss me or need me.
Yep.
And it's like, I just been talking to people and they're like, yo, now I'm getting text messages and like, I'm actually getting pictures. People show me pictures like
I love it.
Hair on the floor. They shave their own heads or something. It's like, so now I gotta like, when I get back to work, gotta freaking fix them things. And it's, but like for me, when we do get back to work, I'm going to have a table out right by the door. Like you said, every business is going to require a mask. I'm going to have, if you don't come in with a mask, I'm going to provide a guy like those surgical masks, provide masks, a big thing of sanitizer in the front door.
Yep.
And just have like a sign-in sheet saying you didn't have the COVID, or you haven't experienced any of the symptoms. That's just the best way. And then just keep it at a minimum. One person per chair, and that's it. And then just come in as like there's nothing else. And that is what sucks. Like business like mine and yours. We already like are cautious. We already are like our shops are already clean. It's the other shops that like it can only house like 20 people, and there's like 100 people piled in a little. Those are the ones that kind of ruin it for us, and that's what's like the holdup, I think.
Yeah. So either of you, Christine or Goose, you guys have any any closing words? We're running up on our time. I don't want to go too far, but if you have any closing words, please share.
Just that Miguel and I think, like you just said, we took this time, and I'm sure a lot of people took this time and did the very same thing. But I'm excited to open. I am very positive, but I do believe that when we do open, I think that the closeness of having one person at a time, I'm seeing a little bit of it right now. I'm able to really focus and not have 8 arms like I normally do, and I'm all over the place. So it's been very calming for me. And I'm going to take a little step back to chill when I do get back to work, because it's just going to make for a better space, environment, myself, my clients. And I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. So if anyone wants to reach out to you directly or book an appointment, where can they go?
Right now, new clients can just follow us on the Beauty Shop on Facebook. And then I believe it's Beauty Shop Bristol on Instagram. And they can go into the messenger there.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So there you have it. We like to close things out with quotes. And the first one is by Tabatha Coffey. Like a therapist, a local barbershop, hairdressers are in a position of trust. We are transforming not just how a person looks, but how they feel. And therefore, they want to tell us things. And the second one is unknown. Invest in your hair. It is the crown you never take off. The Beauty Shop Part 2. In this episode, we have special guest Christine Desumma, owner of the Beauty Shop in Bristol, PA. We cover topics that range from entrepreneurship, the beauty business, effects of the coronavirus, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Tabatha Coffey and an unknown source.
Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.